Hi, I'm Flathead Associate News Editor Ariel Cohen, here for another episode of That Guy with graduate student Devin Braun. Devin is currently pursuing a master's in public policy, and he is going to give this year's graduation speech. So, Devin, can you tell us what you've been up to recently?
See, that's frightening when you say that he's going to be giving the graduation speech. That's, it's more frightening every time I hear it. But so, yeah, finishing up the master's in public policy degree, and, been pounding the pavement for the job search. It's been tough because with the whole sequester thing in D.C., the very thing that I'm sort of qualified for is out of fashion right now. So, but as far as I see it, the opportunities are endless because there's my mom's couch, my dad's couch, and my brother's couch too. So, don't worry about me, folks.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit about your public policy master's program? Because I know it's relatively small here at the college. Not a lot of people know about it.
It is very small. About a class of 20 probably total. I did actually an accelerated program where I started senior year of my undergrad, and there were only about 2 or 3 of us who did that. So, yeah, it's a very intimate thing. We're in Morton, first floor, all day, literally. So, sympathy cards would be welcome. Yeah. But no, it's a really neat thing. Really quantitative focus in the program, which is good for people like me who didn't have it beforehand. I sort of think of it as if government and econ mated, that was the outcome of public policy. So, like it or not.
That's great. So you finished your undergrad here last spring, is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit about your time here during undergrad?
Sure, yeah, what I can remember of it. Yeah, no, it was last spring, yeah, with a government and environmental policy degree, which is really neat. I did a lot of different things. I studied abroad in Spain for a semester. I was an RA sophomore year, which meant I spent 2 years in Batatat.
Wow.
Yeah, twice the cockroaches. But spent a lot of time actually right here, which we're in the radio station here at WCWM. From I think the second week of freshman year on, I had a radio show. So.
Wow, what was your radio show about?
Well, I've done several different ones. I've done radio theater, which there's a reason why not too many of those shows exist probably, but it was fun nevertheless. I did a political talk show. I did a prog rock show. So basically anything in which it was less likely to get listeners, that was me.
That's fun.
So, yeah, that was my specialty. But I did a lot of student theater groups as well, particularly Shakespeare. So, yeah, fingers in a lot of different things, but that's what college is for.
Yes, definitely. So, you've spent a lot of time at the college, and now you're giving the graduation speech. So what inspired you to apply to give the speech?
So, last year I was, graduating with the thought that I was going to be here the following year anyway, so I didn't really have the nostalgia bit that arguably I should have. And this year it's starting to hit home a little bit more. And, I wanted to give something back to a place that's really meant a lot to me. And I also sort of had a message and a theme I wanted at least people to hear once in their time here, which I don't think gets out very often, and that is that we're really told to try to gain as much notoriety and fame as possible, but that's not necessarily the best way to get good work done. In public policy, I found that there are just enormous amounts of people who do incredible amounts of good, and we don't know their names. They get lost in the bureaucracy, and that's not to be a depressing thing. It's to mean that when we graduate, we're likely to be somewhere in that shuffle of a bureaucracy or in an anonymity, and we need to realize that we can still do a lot of really cool things from that position. So
that's a great message to get out there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big question, but what has meant the most to you during your time at William & Mary? What will you miss the most after graduation?
I would say probably the on-campus environment. A lot of other schools that I've seen, especially within the state of Virginia, the on-campus presence just isn't the same. You have, I guess, what are called suitcase schools, where people leave on the weekends, and there's not really an intimate interconnectedness that the students have. So, and that opens itself up for a huge range of activities that students from different walks of life get involved with, from Marxist discussion groups to really obscure dance clubs. I mean, just a whole the gamut really of things that you can get involved with, and I just don't know that there's any other place in society where that's going to be replicated. So that's probably been it. Of course, the academic resources are incredible, and the accessibility of faculty is really unusually high here, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you've had a really good time at the college then.
Arguably, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and best of luck with your speech at graduation. Sounds like you really have a great message.
Thanks so much, and folks, remember to bring a pair of earplugs to the speech. You'll need them.
Thank you so much, Devin.
Thank you.
And if you have anybody you'd like to see on That Guy, please email the Flat Hat online.